Hello everyone, Captain Ludeman here with Firefighter Fouts. We want to share this quick training nugget with you for the month of October as a quick drill that you can view in the station. And it's going to review the preferred method for wearing your radio with a strap in a holster while wearing your personal protective equipment while operating in an IDLH. And then we're going to review some tips to successfully be able to communicate while wearing your SCBA face piece. Some of this comes from the takeaways out of our September 2021 live fire training. And while these radios might be rugged, they're still very vulnerable to thermal damage. And it's very important that we take steps necessary, A, to secure it, and B, to protect it. We all know that probably the most vulnerable piece of this radio is the remote speaker mic cord itself. And we need to take every step to protect it. And that's why we're going to be wearing it underneath our coat, because it also reduces an entanglement hazard. In the unfortunate circumstance you find yourself in trouble one day, this may be the very one tool that saves your life. So we're going to review the steps on how to properly wear it, and then we're going to review a couple tips about being able to communicate in your SCBA face piece. So Firefighter Fouts, if you notice, already has his strap as he wears it throughout the day normally, and it's properly measured. All right, the radio is not hanging down at his knees, and his radio is also not above the hip line. With the radio at the proper length just below the hip line, once his coat is on, it also gives him a 2-point push-to-talk option with the remote speaker mic itself, or you can use the push-to-talk on the radio itself. So now he's going to don his personal protective coat. And while he's doing that, I will share with you that you can Google and review many close call, near-miss reports nationally, and you're pretty guaranteed to find some sort of communication lessons learned. And there's a handful of them where the radios themselves have malfunctioned, have failed, because they were not properly protected while firefighters were operating in IDLH. So that's why we're here today to share this quick video with you, reviewing the steps. So if you notice, he's got his coat on, he's going to buckle up, and then he's going to check to make sure that the radio is underneath the coat, but yet the antenna is not stuck up underneath the coat, and that it is angled slightly away from the body. This is going to increase your chance to be able to transmit and receive messages. The microphone is going to come out through the personal protective coat, but it's important that you use all the Velcro and all the clasps that are provided to prevent any kind of thermal gases entering that or trying to penetrate the protective line. So with that said, now he's ready to operate. He's going to don his SCBA. And we're going to talk about some of the best tips for being able to successfully communicate while we're in your SCBA face piece. You know, it's quite interesting that in 1969, we could talk to a man on the moon from Earth with no problem. And here we are yet in 2021, and at times we have difficulty communicating when we're 100 feet apart on an incident scene. An incident commander could be in the front yard, you could be in the basement performing a primary search, and if we're not using some of these tips to communicate, we're gonna have a difficult time understanding each other. So with this face piece on, two points that were taken away from our live fire training is that some firefighters were using the remote speaker mic and they were leaving it down here at the chest level, and they were speaking freely, which makes it very difficult to hear. Another not preferred method was taking the RSM and put it in right in front of your regulator. Well, that's a block. It's going to inhibit good communication through your mask. So Firefighter Fouts is going to demonstrate the preferred method, that if you need to communicate while wearing your SCBA face piece, you're going to take your RSM and you're going to place it at the designed voice port, the voice emitter, on the SCBA face piece itself. By taking your gloved hand, pressing that remote speaker mic against the voice emitter, it's going to lead to a much greater chance that your message is going to be received by whomever you're trying to deliver it to. If at times that you have your remote speaker mic against the voice emitter and you're still asked to repeat your message, consider shielding it with a gloved hand. And if you still are unsuccessful, consider using your body as an additional shield to put away to communicate. It's also important to note that nearby members operating with you with high volume levels on their radio are going to contribute to some feedback and also inhibit some of our successful communication. So if you're not talking on the radio, I understand you want to have it loud enough to be able to hear, but you need to keep in mind that the radio should be turned down to a level and you should be spaced apart not to interfere, especially if you're trying to communicate an important message. So with that said, I want to also remind you that don't take advantage of this Check your radios every day, check your cords, check your microphones, check the knobs, make sure it operates every morning. Do not take advantage of this one piece that could be very valuable and potentially be the one tool to save your life if you're unfortunately put into a bad position. I'm more than happy, as well as Firefighter Fouts and some of the instructors, to come out, make some station visits, review this with you personally, so please do not hesitate to reach out to us at any time. Thank you.